I do sincerely apologize. I was streaming out of another page that couldn't take your comments, so I had to recalibrate. So do forgive me. So we're back now, and I'm waiting for Nkechi and Confidence to join us, which they will in a minute. This is Unplugged, an initiative by Julia Jacks Consulting, and for the whole of August, we are going to be looking at the creative industries and seeing how to make a business, a living out of the creative industries. Welcome back, Confidence.
Thank you.
I was on another page, I wonder whether we shouldn't change the name of this thing to Plugged In, because it's becoming prophetic.
Maybe you should just do that.
Maybe we should just do that, because
Yeah.
something crazy happens every week, almost every week. Maybe we need to get plugged in. But anyway, so we were talking about painting as a foundational aspect of the creative industries, and how does one make a good living? Can you make a living? I know the big names do make a living, but can you make a good living out of art?
Yes, absolutely. I think you can. Now, this is a question that I would wait for our veteran artist, Mrs. Nkechi, to come and answer correctly and, elaborate. But yes, you definitely can make a living as an artist and as a painter. A lot of persons have gone on to do it, and it's possible to do. So I think for me, I'm still a baby when it comes to things like this. But I'd say you just have to stand out as an artist, as a painter. A lot of people are doing amazing work. A lot of people are doing really good when it comes to realism painting, hyper realism. You see a lot of trends these days of people drawing like really um, uh, pictures that are almost lifelike, paintings
Absolutely,
of the
yeah.
actual environment and all of that, and that's amazing. Now, one thing I know about Nigerians is I think we are still pretty much fascinated about realism paintings. So painting what you can actually understand, what you can see, and we're slowly gravitating towards understanding and seeing the beauty in abstract paintings. So I think
Absolutely,
one thing
yeah.
that can help you as an artist stand out and at least sell your paintings is if you're doing something different from the usual. Now, I know that the art industry is a very closed community, and you really have to know your onions to be able to break into it and break through and then associate with the big guns. And the only way you can do that, or one way you can do that, not the only way, is to distinguish yourself. So art is about freedom of expression. It's not really about what people think about what you're doing, but how you express yourself, what you want to show in your work, freedom, your own perception of your colors, your brushes, however you want to express it. So if you're able to let yourself flow and let people see you in your work, it doesn't matter how long it takes, or hopefully it doesn't take so long, but it doesn't matter how long it takes. Eventually, you get, if recognition and publicity and visibility is what you're looking for, eventually
Uh-huh.
you get it. Sometimes too, for people who they
Can,
just
can
love to
I
express
can
them.
I can I just cut in a little bit, because I was
Okay,
okay. I think Nkechi is trying to join us,
coming. Okay.
and I want to just say welcome and hello to everybody. Good morning to everybody who's joined us, and also our apologies. I was on the wrong page when I should have been streaming out of somewhere else. So I lost everybody. I didn't see any comments. I was wondering where everybody was. It turned out I was the one in the wrong place. So let me add Nkechi to the stream. Aha, now this is now a different. Let me see if I can. Yeah, okay, that's it. Okay, yeah. Nkechi, welcome. Great
Welcome
to
back.
see you. Welcome back. Welcome
Good
back.
morning. How are you?
I'm good, good. I hope you're good.
Yes, I am.
Okay. You're
High
wearing my
confidence.
glasses.
Yes, I am. Oh yeah. We call this Julia, don't
Yeah.
worry. I don't joke.
Okay, so we're talking about how you can make a good living, not just a living, good living from art. And confidence is pretty confident that you can make a good living from art, you know. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Blessing. Hi, Imabasi. Hi, Zenzi. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. You know, so she said she was waiting for the veteran to make some comments, even though she made some real strong points.
Oh,
So, how do you
you
make a
can
good living from art? Sorry?
um by being known. There's so many ways. If you keep exhibiting, you get to form your own collectors list, people that will really love your work and ask for your work even when you're not exhibiting. You can become a mentor. You can have a blog. You can be online and sell from your studio. There are so many things. You can go into print. That's at least right now, that's what most people are doing with the economy. You go into print, limited editions, and so many people can afford it, not just waiting for one person that can value it at the amount you put it. You can put it into
Yeah.
prints and sell. But I think the most important thing for any young person is to be consistent and keep working. They show people, that's where they're going to know about you. Make catalogs people can go home with and ask for your work even when you're not showing. That's the best way to make a living. And then now you talk about auctions. If you can get into an auction, if you're invited into one and you keep making works that get into auctions, you get to sell. People ask after people from auctions a lot. That's the only way to
So,
consistently sell. Mm.
this is
If
my
you don't
question.
have any other
How
work,
do you get
it's
into
always
that
good to have
space?
another job. Hmm?
How do you get into that space? Because, you know, whether we like it or not, at a certain level, there's a mafia, whether we like it or
Oh,
Yeah.
not.
there is
I mean,
always, yes.
yeah. So so we
Hilarious.
are depending on you to tell us some tips. I mean, how do you get into the mafia? Or how do you get around the mafia?
If you can exhibit yearly, you can get into auctions. That's the straightforward way. Every year, consistently, be with a gallery that cares for you, not just about making profit. They are the ones that will be able to get into auctions if you're affiliated to a gallery. And they're the ones that will take you outside. If you've had so many international shows, even one that is basic, that is important, it's easier for you to get into auctions. And you can get into international shows from galleries. They're the ones that represent. It's difficult to go as an individual if you're still starting. So with galleries, you can go out there, but on your own, you can show every year. Start with that. It's very important to build a body of work from your catalogs to be able to get into places. Then if you're talking about the mafia, another way is to, like I said at the beginning, if you have
Okay, let's
somebody,
call
even
them
if
the cabal.
I don't know
Let's
about that.
file
But if
that.
you're talking about, there are some people that are so invested in your work, they've watched you grow, and you should start cultivating such people. Do you understand? Someone that will just fall in love with your work and start from the beginning, keep collecting you. Such people, if they're in the art scene, they are also the best way to get into auctions because they market the work, they talk about it, they tell people the value, and they present one of the pieces they have into an auction. If I bought your work when you were starting and I want to resell from my personal, I didn't even tell you about it. That's another way for you to get into auctions because the person will now introduce you to that circle. At the beginning, I was in an auction I didn't know about because it was the first auction so many decades ago. It was from someone's personal collection. He put in two works. And that's how people started asking. That's how I was being invited back. He sold from his collection. I didn't even know about the auction. That was the first time I heard about it. So that's consistent work, build a volume, that's important volume of work. Do your own publishing, like even if you don't find someone to help you publish a book, if you can, work towards making a book. not just catalogs, a coffee table book of your work. That's an easier way to bypass the mafia.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Kechi. I've heard all you've said, and I'm thinking about not confidence because she's in the process of making a name, but someone sitting somewhere in Uyo or Aba or Calabar or in Oturupo who wants to break out. And they say, like in real estate, they say location, location, location. Location is the most important thing. Is that the same
It's
thing for art?
No, we just found out that does not matter with the lockdown. Location, see what's happening now.
Yeah.
Everybody is a gallery now. Everybody is a curator now. Everybody is presenting themselves in the best light. It's even easier for you to sell yourself. I think what happened with the lockdown is that artists found out that location doesn't matter. The world is watching. So many
Okay.
people had that breakthrough, that the breakout they've been waiting for just this period in the past 6 months. You show people. The most important thing for me, some artists think it's best for you to be private, let them not see the stages, let them just see the finished work. But with this lockdown, what we found out is that people have time in their hands. So if you invite them into your studio and they
Yeah.
watch the, oh
It
my
became
goodness,
experiential. Yeah.
it changed a lot. So I don't think location. All the artists I mentored, they were telling me how they sold this period, and most of them were surprised. Hidden places in Soka, Enugu, the person found you. Your own is now packaged well and sent to the person. Outside the country, people were ordering their work because they did basic things. I'll tell you, go to your studio, show us who are you, how did you wake up. We want to know, we're interested. The artist, the collector is not buying the finished work. Sometimes they need to know the story behind it. What inspired you? And that's what happened for most people this period. They found that they don't need to be in galleries. From their homes, they could sell.
Okay. But does that mean, and this is for Nkechi and confidence, does that mean that there's no place for galleries, for art critics?
Oh, there is.
Mhm.
There is. It was
Curators?
just
Yeah.
talking about location that people should stop using that as an excuse. That's what I was. You
Okay.
still need the gallery. You still need those institutions. They're very important. An artist, most or all artists prefer to just create. You spend so much energy trying to market, trying to sell. It's not. It's something you can cut off. It's not necessary. For me, that's what I think. If there's someone that can do that, which is the correct thing, then beautiful. Just leave me in the studio. Do your part. I'll pay you. Yeah. So you can never ever bypass galleries. They're very important. But when people start making the excuse about location, you can't tell me that it doesn't work again. It's a small, small world. We found out.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for Mrs. Nkechi.
Okay.
Um, and
Just go
this
with
is,
Nkechi.
oh, okay. And this is this is something that came up quite a lot while I was in school, and then I had conversations with some artists from the Department of Fine Arts in Uniport, and they shared the same sentiment. So, how easy is it to get into galleries? Because what we've come to um, notice is that most galleries, now I won't say all because I think there's still a few who are looking for people who haven't gotten there yet. Most
Yeah, they have
galleries
galleries for that, yeah.
are looking out for artists who maybe studied outside Nigeria, have a totally different kind of art style, and have have a litany of exhibitions or shows in their portfolio. So how does the artist who is just getting out of the university, who is just getting out of school, who hasn't actually started much or done much, how do they now get into galleries to start breaking through that tight circle of art in Nigeria?
Nkechi, I want to answer that question, if
Huh?
you
Okay.
don't mind. I want to answer
Oh,
that question
go ahead.
because it's like anybody, you get out of school, you have to pay your dues. You have to earn your shirt. You have to make your bones. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Nobody
Yeah.
knows you. However smart you are in school, nobody knows you unless you start exhibiting from school. You understand? Nobody knows
Yeah.
you. So you have to, you know what? At a certain point, at a lower level, there are a lot of people working there. But as you get higher, it gets tighter. It gets more, it's not congested, but it's tighter. So you
Yeah.
actually have to be different. You have to be able to, and I'm speaking as a brand person, as a branding person, you have to be able
Mm-hmm.
to tell your story. You have to be able to
Yeah.
have built networks. You have to be able to break through that barrier of shyness.
I had,
To
that's what
Mm.
I
come,
was going to say.
yeah,
Presentation. Yeah.
yeah.
How do you keep hitting them? My personal story, when I came out from school, I did not understand the word no. I still do not. I will present myself. Then other artists will be wondering what's wrong with this woman. I'll bring then we didn't have all this computer thing. I'll bring cardboards, fine papers, print the pictures, paste them. I'll make so many of these portfolios, handmade. That's if painstaking. And I will keep pushing. Anywhere I travel to South Africa, I will not look for any gallery. I'll go to the very best and I will present. All they know is I did not do anything with it. If I come that way again, I'll present my catalog. That's what my folder, it was a folder then, straight from school, youth service. That's what I was doing. And then I found out this wasn't working. I sat back to, talk to myself, and I now realized I needed to build a better body of work. I went back and started working. And the first time I presented my portfolio, the gallery accepted me. There was no, like, we didn't even have to talk about percentage or anything. They
Yeah.
wanted me. Before I got home, a second gallery was asking for me. So that's my experience. Get the body of work. Make sure
Yeah.
you are different. We all have our voices, but when you're coming out from school, you've not found yourself. You still have traces of your school. You still have traces of people that inspired you when you were in school. You imbibe all
Yeah.
those artists. And when you come to a place, if you're in New York or in Lagos, there's this thing that people, the real art lovers can see a work for itself, and they know when you are still looking for yourself. So straight from
Yeah.
school, the best thing anybody can do for themselves is to work, work, work. There's no shortcut.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
This
possibly
is,
find your way into that circle. Let people start knowing you, you know?
Yes,
yeah.
look for
Just
exhibition, mingle,
push your
work,
way, talk to
hang out
people.
in
Yeah.
setting. Yeah. Well, they have
Mm-hmm.
places like in Lagos, there's a place called somewhere in the art gallery where artists all come out to paint. You have new graduates staying with veterans, so many of them, it feels like that. So you start practicing, start hanging out with artists, get some mentors, and that's it. Before you know, they'll be taking you to galleries, and then I know it's usually very elitist. It will be like these galleries, they don't want to take in new people. But there's a
Yeah.
woman somewhere in Ikoyi, I think Lere Gallery. She's known for taking just young graduates. That's her major, and she's good. I've not been there, but she has so many young artists. You can start with that. You can present your work with her. Even if she doesn't
So
show you
maybe
immediately,
you guys
she
can talk.
will.
You guys can talk after
Yeah,
this.
that's what she
You
does.
can have
She's
a
very
sidebar
good.
after this. Yeah. Okay. So take us through the supportive ecosystem that boosts the growth of this industry. What is the ecosystem that you must have to boost the growth of this creative industry? Painting specifically.
I think, Of course, like I have people I employ. That's basic. And then with the work, what I think is giving back in your own way. I do mentorship. That's my own way. I help. I have Maldred Gallery, which started off representing just female artists. But of recent, I found out that that was limiting. So I now do other things. Over 17 years for the Lagos State, I had something called, I was involved in called LABAF. That's the Lagos, I don't know if you know the Lagos State Arts and Book Festival.
As a book festival, yeah.
Yes. So those are different ways art has, I was involved in my art, and curating other people have helped you grow the economy. And even in this period, like where we are right now, what the basic thing for me now is just the mentorship. I've been facing that, helping people find themselves, helping people sell their work. That's what I do. I don't use a physical gallery. I do it from, it's an online thing. So it comes back to that location, doesn't matter.
Okay, but how about incubation? I said, how about incubation? Have shared spaces.
Incubation, I didn't hear.
Incubation, incubators, shared spaces. Is that also part of the ecosystem?
Yeah, there are alternative spaces that I'm not running that. Okay. We don't have like people coming in to, that's for me or for others. No, I don't do that.
For others,
I don't
within the.
No, my gallery doesn't, my studio doesn't have space for you to come in. Yeah, there are so many incubators all over springing up, but I don't have you sleeping over, monitoring you morning all day. No, I don't do that. You come in, then over you present your work. Yeah, even with the lockdown, those incubators could not work. They are wonderful ideas, great ideas, places where you can go. You know, like residencies, but they are a little fluid. Places where you can just go and work. Oh my goodness, there's nothing like that. Every artist needs that once in a while. Yeah, but I don't run that. Even for children, people, IT, yeah, we used to do that, but we don't do that again.
Okay, confidence. What's your experience been? Like the kind of things you need in place to support the growth of your ministry.
The growth of my ministry. Okay, I think for me, I'd say we sort of have to go back to the drawing board. Education, art education. Now, what Nkechi has said is fantastic. It ties with what I said in the very beginning. But these aren't things that were taught in school that you'd say people know the routes to take to get to where they should as an established artist. So a lot of people are lost in that, oh, I just came out of school and what do I do? Yes, you have to find yourself, but if in the beginning there was a roadmap in the first place that teaches, okay, there are different stages you go through as an artist. You're a student, you learn, you have to find yourself. Even you should find yourself while in school. Now, I'm going to be speaking about my own experience.
That's right.
Yes.
It's a course now in soccer, how to survive.
Oh, fantastic. So while I was in school, I know that we were taught so much of paint, and our paintings were sort of a bit restricted to a particular aspect or kind of painting. And I think it would have been nicer if people were allowed to express and find themselves creatively while still in school. So before you leave school, because I read a lot about international art schools, and I know that they encourage a lot of find who you are as an artist while still in school, where you have lecturers, teachers, professors who can help hone that you found, so that when you're leaving, you have somewhat kind of direction. So it will be great if our schools can incorporate this into the art curriculum, where we're not just coming to paint what you've asked us to paint. Okay, go outside and paint this landscape or draw that woman and draw this. Allow people to express their creative freedom a little bit more, so that while still as students, they find themselves as an artist, they find their styles, then it will be great to also do mentor pairing while still in school. Maybe it might be asking for too much, but these are things that I think would help
No,
the
it's
growth
true.
of
Very important.
quality artists who can actually compete in the international world, on the international stage. Because outside Nigeria, I might be wrong, and NK, correct me if I'm wrong. Outside Nigeria, I know, especially Europe, they love a lot of abstract work. Now, I was going to change my love for abstracts because of the environment I found myself, because of I was or I am in Nigeria. So it was, oh, people don't really have enough or really understand or like abstract. Maybe I should just
We
start
do.
doing like
We do.
human
They
faces,
We
do.
do. We
They
really
do.
do.
human faces and stuff, just to, be out there. But this appreciation for abstract started. There's now like a hunger and a thirst for it. But if this is something that we were taught back in school, or people are taught back in school, it doesn't matter what genre of art you choose to focus on. Find yourself, stand out, build your body of work, and then you get noticed as time goes on. So I think there needs to be a revamp of our art education in Nigeria. You need to teach artists, people who are studying art in school, how to make a business out of art, how to brand themselves, how to make money out of art. It's not just, yes, it's your passion, great, but how do you make money out of it? Now, most people are fantastic artists, very good painters, but they're not able to sell or put themselves out there to even have people see their works and buy. So if they are thought from the get-go, as an artist, how do you put yourself out there? What's the roadmap you should take if you want to actually go into the business of art? How do you set up a structure for art, art-centric businesses? Because of course, as an art business, it's going to be a little different from every other kind of business. So who is teaching the business of art? Who is
Okay,
teaching
I think
how to brand yourself as an artist and all of that? So if this is incorporated in the curriculum, then I think it will be easier. It will make it easier for artists to grow here in
I
Nigeria.
think it's in some schools. And Nsukka had that. Before I graduated, they were complaining about that, and it was added. And there's also something like IT. When you go for industrial
Yes,
attachment, you are supposed to attach yourself to galleries. Your school will write to galleries, to famous artists for you to work with. And that's what IT is, business
they
of
are
art.
supposed to, but do they do that? Because I know
Yes,
my school
it
didn't
is
do
the
that.
curriculum. It is, Nsukka had that, where you are sent out to learn how to sell your art. And then the freedom you were talking about, I'm also very lucky to come from a school that was open enough. We had courses on installation art. We had courses on all the new forms of art then. That was years
That's
ago.
great.
So we were introduced, like I majored in mixed media. There is a section for that. Abstract is from first year. We were introduced to that quite early. So my school and some schools I know about, they do that. And new schools now, like my children, they have art as business as in their curriculum. They're being taught. So that means that thing that was started then has entered the system, well, which is good.
Yeah. But this
Okay.
this is my take to both of you, and I think it's becoming a thing now where people are being taught how to um, make businesses out of what they're doing. Yeah, because
Yeah.
yes, make businesses out of make thriving businesses out of everything. Because I believe that everybody's creative, and anything you put your hand to, you will succeed with proper parameters in place. But there's this thing I feel, and I don't want to call it by the wrong name, so I'm being careful about how I call it. But I believe that you actually have to put yourself out there. You have to
Yeah.
put yourself out there. You have to tell your story. You have to. You
No, that
see,
one more.
nobody is waiting for you with open arms, saying, "We've been waiting for you all this time,
Oh,
Nkechi.
that's
Oh,
Yeah.
confidence,
that could
welcome. We've been
happen. They
waiting for
can
you."
come seeking you, but you need to
That
tell your
brick wall
story.
is there. That
Yeah.
brick wall is there because the territory you're going into has been occupied. I mean,
That's
where do you
right.
want Bruce or Fire to go? Where do you
Yeah.
want them as Nwoko to go? Where do you want Nkechi and Nwosu to go? Where do you want Victoria to go? They are there. So all what you have to do is to now say, I'm here too, and this is who I
That's right.
am.
Yeah.
You understand? And will
Did you
you take a
understand?
little bit more time? Yes. Every business takes a lot more, a little bit more time. And you have to,
Yeah.
like, I think, yeah, someone said be consistent. We had let me just scroll up and see. We had comments from Tony Archibald. And he said the good thing about, and Tony, thanks for joining us. He said the good thing about art is that it speaks for itself. An outstanding piece will sell itself and may earn you an outing exhibition with the big chaps. I have exhibited with very young artists at international art fairs and expos. So work hard, be confident, and be determined to get there. You will.
It's all,
So
yeah, work, work, work.
Yeah.
work, yeah, yeah. So Onoye is here. She says, let me just show it on the screen
I
briefly.
honor.
He says, don't change your style, improve your marketing, and refine your customers, more like your customer base. You understand? To people who don't understand or need what you have, you're making noise.
You're
To
making noise.
people, yeah, to the people who need your work, you're an angel. Yeah, they need you. So everybody has a tribe. My brother had actually described it as a bubble. I think I agree with him now. Before we used to say tribe, find your community. But I think it's getting the clusters are getting smaller. So they're
Yeah.
almost like bubbles, really. You know, everybody has a tribe bubble community. And once you are part of that community, oh my word, they can't have enough of you. We have a question from Geraldine. Um, Geraldine, question for both artists. What is the market for paintings like now in Nigeria? I remember a time when it was booming and I was part of that market, but it would be interesting to know how it is now. Anyone can take it.
For painting, there's a market for painting. I sold a painting yesterday. That's how recent. So there is a market. It's there. So many people at the beginning, very onset of the lockdown, thought it was going to be very difficult. Because nobody was selling. You couldn't go to galleries if you depended on galleries. But like I told you, people started presenting their works online from you straight to the buyer. And then the collectors were online. That was the difference. Before, they were hardly using the social media. They did not see your work. But now people call you and they want your work. So if you ask an artist in somebody you spoke to earlier on, they'll tell you that the market is very good.
Yeah.
Now it was incredible for most people in the past 2 months, 3 months. People were buying a lot of art. If especially the ones that were expecting some money currency drop and something to happen, with all the conspiracy theories. I think so many people invested. And there was
You're
a
not gonna go
boom.
there. You're not going there.
No, that's what I'm saying. There was a big boom. You know what we had in the 90s? Something like that came back. If you
Okay.
speak, the people I talked to in maybe like 2 months back now, they were in a better place than spoke at the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah. So paintings, yeah, they're still doing well. Sculptures, they're still
Yeah.
doing well.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree too.
Unless you were not working period,
Cause
unless you were not seeing yourself online. But the people that did are not, they're no longer complaining.
yes, because I would also agree with you. I think I had more requests for art pieces during the
This
lockdown than I did prior to it. So I think it's great. Just keep putting yourself out there. Let people see.
That's right.
Let your personality shine through your work, and yeah, your tribe, or your bubble, will find you eventually.
it keeps expanding. The bubble keeps expanding. It's
Yes.
not a
Yeah.
steady. You add new
One thing
people.
I've Okay, so I just want to quickly point this out. I know that um, some persons might want Nigerians to recognize the kind of work that they do. But maybe your bubble is not in Nigeria. It's very possible. Maybe it's not in Nigeria because I know that for me, this is speaking for myself now. For me, I've actually had 2 international galleries reach out to me requesting that they would like to put my profile and my works on their pages because of the kind of work I do. And I know that in terms of, I know a lot of Nigerians or my friends love the kind of work I do, but it's possible that for your work, you might not be very much appreciated as you'd like here. It might be outside Nigeria, it might be outside the continent. So just keep putting yourself out there, put your work out online, let people see what you do. The world is a global village these days. So someone from a far away country can request for your work. Galleries can reach out to you from outside Nigeria. It doesn't have to be within Nigeria. If you're able to break through the art space outside Nigeria, fantastic. If you're able to break through the art space within Nigeria, that's great too. But whichever way you find it, I don't think there's a cutthroat or straitjacket way to getting established as an artist.
I'm an abstract artist like you. I've always been right from Osaka. And the market is here too. So, like you said, yourself out. I'm not sure you've met them, but you will soon meet them. They're here. I've always been an abstract artist. So the market is
your
here.
friends are good. It's good to have friends, and friends encourage you. Or your friends are not going to take you to the promised land unless they are curators, they're critics, and they can buy your work. If not, your friends are going to buy your work too. Trust me, she's my friend. I can't buy her work cheap. I
was just saying this in terms of like just putting context. So it doesn't matter where your village or your bubble is. They might be here, they might be outside. So whichever one is totally fine.
Yeah. I think just so that we don't forget something that Nkechi had mentioned, a lot of things right now, we've become a very intrusive world. I think they call it experiential, but I call it intrusion. People want to know what you're doing, and they're actually people who document themselves from when they wake up, when they're putting on their makeup, and you understand, through the day, and people actually follow them. You understand? So I feel that for artists, for painters, getting a little bit of your backstory, which we would have gotten at an exhibition, perhaps, or an art fair from talking to you. But if you can intentionally tell your backstory, do you understand? On whatever platform you are, it's very important. Yes.
Yes, it is. I have a private link for few people, and I show them the stages. I don't put it on Instagram. I'm a very shy person. I don't put it on Facebook. But I have a place where just very few people see when I start the work and finish. And the wonderful thing for me is that it brings in competition. They're all involved. They now think they're just like 6 of them. They've always been with me. So there's competition now. I'm getting this first. It's like I'm having a personal auction. Do you understand? Because there's this, they feel they know every stage of the work, which they do. Each day I'm painting, I show you what I'm doing that day. And at the end, even before I finish, they're asking for the work, which is good for me because I'm not creating as much as I used to do. So they get to choose even before I finish. And that's the thing about involving people. Not always, it's not necessary, but if you can, it's important. It makes them not really varied somewhat, but they're involved. They feel like they have.
Yeah, they get committed. Yeah, they get attached to those pieces, and they can actually
very about artists.
Yeah,
you know, people are very about artists.
I didn't hear what you said.
No, they want the people like to know everything about artists. They find us very weird, very different. What do you do? Are you eating while you're painting? Well, which I do. There's always cook. They didn't pay me for this advice, but there's always something in my hand. And so they want to know what's happening from your crazy mind. How do you create this thing?
Yeah.
I I think for me, I post when I'm putting my artwork out there. I post the different stages at once. I usually wait until I'm done with a particular piece before I post it, and then I put on different slides. You can see the process I took from the
Oh,
beginning
that's
till the very
wonderful.
end of it. So
That's
process is
wonderful.
actually fantastic. I know some people who actually buy unfinished paintings.
Oh
They don't
yes, for
want
me,
they
process is
just you get
important.
to a point and they are so fascinated and they just buy it off you
Absolutely.
like that. So I think the process is great. Showing people the process it's taking you, what you're kind of it's like they're walking through your mind. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. This is another level of marketing, experiential marketing, and it's fascinating, you know.
Yeah.
Now, um, why do you paint, and can you stop painting ever?
No, I can't. In fact, I'm just getting started. So I don't see myself ever stopping painting. No, uh-uh. It's like if you take painting away from me, I feel that's like you're taking away part of confidence because I can't completely tell you who I am without including the fact that I am an artist. I have always been as a little baby. My dad was a fantastic artist. He didn't paint, but he drew so well. And it was from him that I think I built the interest as a child. So I don't see myself ever stopping. I'm only just getting started to even begin with. So it's too soon to start thinking of when I'll stop. But I don't think I'd ever stop till well, till that day.
Okay,
But no.
Nkechi?
Do I see myself ever stopping?
Yeah.
That's painting in paper. It's possible. I can't say I might stop painting, but if you're talking about creating, like installation or going into video, I don't know about stopping those ones. But painting is a possibility. I can't really tell. Right
Confidence.
now,
So Zenzi would like to look at the Zenzi. Is it the round painting? Which one do you want to see? Somebody wants to take a closer look at your art. You know,
Oh, which one?
I'm
Wait,
not sure.
flash them
Where,
left or
where,
right.
she
Okay,
said to your right.
this is
Okay, there you go. Okay, yeah.
beautiful.
Okay. Yes.
thank
Yes.
you.
Beautiful. So
Thank you.
I got a quote actually. Nkechi, this was from your IG page. It says from Mary Oliver, and it says, "Someone I loved once gave me a box full of darkness. It took me years to understand that this too was a gift."
Someone gave
That
me a
is,
box of.
it's a quote that's on
Darkness.
your IG page. So let me read it out. It said, "Someone I loved once gave me a box full of darkness. It took me years to understand that this too was a gift." And it's
Hmm.
by Mary Oliver. And that's why I liked it. It resonated with me
Yeah.
because I know that there are specific points of light or darkness or confusion or just blankness that influence the creative mind.
That's right. In any way you
What
look at
what,
that,
what influences have you had? What influences have you had that have been? I know
what?
you say your influences have you had that have really affected your work. You say you're exploring the color red, or you like the color red right now. You know.
Not yes. I've always worked with red as a major part of any series I do, and then that quote also. When you talk about darkness, you when you're coming from something, not necessarily depression, but when you're coming from a pain or a hurt, it helps you create. Then you can
Yeah.
also interpret darkness, if you call that an inspiration, as sitting in a quiet place for some time before you start a series of work. Yes, so darkness is a gift. Doing nothing when you're hurt, Then also I'm lucky enough to have been inspired by Obi Chukwu taught me. So I always go back to him. Yeah, that was a major inspiration growing up. Yeah, my dad. And then right now, it's just what's happening around me. Like every other person, there's so much to inspire us. So many things, yeah, happening in this world too. So I pick things. My themes are basically from whatever is happening in my environment, socially, physically, environment, any environment at all affects my work. And because I work a lot with pain, I interpret things. I prefer when I see something, I prefer to show the angry side, the painful side. If we're talking about right now, if you want to interpret pandemic, I'm not going to have any work with a mask or the basic things you see. I'm going to talk about maybe 10 years from now, and that's why you have red a lot. Red is a very emotional color. I use that a lot.
Futuristic. You'll be pretty futuristic in your interpretation.
Yes, that's for me. That's the philosophy of my art. If I'm very truthful, which is what art is, if I'm true to myself today, that's okay. But if it still matters, if it still inspires people decades from now, then I've done my work. That's the value of my art.
Okay, before we guys, we lost 15 minutes due to my fault. So please give us extra 15 minutes. It was my fault. I really thank you for saying, but I need to make a few comments. Well, not my own comments. I need to show so that if we have any young artists online right now, they can see. I don't know if this is correct. It's Sotheby's in Nigeria.
They come in, yeah.
In.
Yes, they do come in. Yes, so you can go for those meetings. They come in all the time.
Okay.
They work with Nigerian artists.
Okay. And there was this that Jerry posted that make sure your rights are legally secured when you approach for permission to show your work internationally. You know, but this is a business of art, which includes
of course, for sure. When you sign with galleries, just make sure you're protected. There are places that you go to now, they'll ask you for 50% here in Lagos. Make sure you're secured legally. I don't mind. I don't care about this percentage if I am well represented. I know people who will tell you, oh, if it's above 30%, I'm not getting into it. It doesn't really matter. If you're in your place, you can sell a work for 1 million and you're okay as an artist, you don't care. But there are people that will handle you to get to nearly times 10 of that price, and they're asking you to go home with 50% or go home with 40%. That's beautiful. They've done everything. They've shown you in the right places. They did the publication. They feed you. Do you understand? There are amazing galleries out there. So if you are doing what you're supposed to do,
one of them.
It doesn't matter what you're asking for. But yes, have a friend that is a lawyer or have somebody go over the contract is very important. All those funny things that are put into contracts. Yes, make sure you're covered.
Okay, there's something Confidence has going, which I think we should let her share with us right now. You have a heart for you said for artists who cannot afford art materials. So I think you put together something. Could you tell us about that?
Okay. Okay. So there is Art Cave, and the vision of Art Cave is to be internationally known for our research and pilots in art. So I think there's a lot of potential in art in the development sector, and I don't see that it's not something that we've explored a lot in this part of the world. So this is where we come in. And then there are a lot of artists who really do not have the platform to show themselves and to get to the point where from point A to point B. So Art Cave provides the platforms for new emerging upcoming artists to show their works to the world, to try to connect them to the markets that they need. And then during the pandemic, a lot of people were at home getting bored. There wasn't so much to do. So we actually did this. Don't know if you can see it very well. It's a DIY art box. So demystifying the process of art. Yes. So there are a
Is
lot
that
of people who has,
possible?
That make you want
yes,
to gift for young people. Yeah.
it's very possible. Now you've always wanted to paint, but you probably think you don't have the skill or you just can't do that. This is where we come in. So we make everything for you. In the box you have your brushes, you have something to mix your paint, you have a palette knife. We also gave you an apron. We give you an apron so that you don't
Oh,
stain
that's
yourself, since you're not an artist and you want to have paint all over your clothes. Then we, depending on the theme of what that particular box is, now we can give you a theme for by ourselves, or you can choose a theme that you want. Say you want to paint the seaside. We mix colors that can reflect the seaside for you. These are a tube of colors. And then for people who, maybe for someone like Julia, who is an abstract lover and might want to just put something down, we give you a plain canvas, or we can actually draw templates for you. So all you need to do is to get the box. You have a paper palette. All you need to do is to get the box, mix your paint, and then just paint. So it's like paint by numbers. So we give you a template that has where each color should go to. You see what it looks like, and then you do it yourself. So it becomes your artwork painted by you. Something to be so proud of. So for children, we have the adult edition.
Do you
Yes,
have tutorials
yes.
like?
So
Oh, that's
yes.
wonderful. Then you should partner with some people. I know people here. We'll talk after that, like giving materials. We're helping artists with materials. So you should talk with them to make this, get into schools. That's an incredible box, and it should get
It
into
is.
the hands of many children.
It is.
Thank you.
So we'll
But I'll
talk.
tell you that I'm still coloring
Thank
using
you.
my daughter's what do you call it, Hello Kitty coloring book. It was truly art. She's abandoned it, but I found out that during the lockdown, truly darkness is a gift, and loneliness and silence, isolation is a gift if you know how to use it
Yes,
properly. Because
we know
I
how to
found out
use it.
that
Yes.
I became creative. I was writing, I was journaling, I was writing poetry, and I was coloring. Anytime I got too tense thinking about what was happening around me, I just bring her Hello Kitty book and color, and I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
therapy.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
therapy. Yeah.
Yes.
yes,
So
And that's another thing too that we want to focus on as well, art therapy.
yeah, it's very
yeah.
soothing.
I
Very,
think, let
very,
me just
very.
mention this. For me, when you said when you read the quotes from NK's page, from Nkechi's page, it resonated a lot with me, because one thing that solidified my staying as a painter while in school was actually pain. So I lost my mom when I was just about to enter final year, and she was my biggest, in fact, she's my inspiration to become and to stay an artist, because she believed I could do so much with art, not just as a decorative piece, but to actually cause some change in the society. So it was during that period when I couldn't hear her voice anymore. She wasn't calling me every day to cheer me up and to, motivate me to do what I can with my brushes and my paint. And it just opened up a world of, I expressed myself through my paintings. I pushed myself. I actually missed a whole year of exams the previous year, and I was writing two exams at the same time. So my final year exam and my 300 level first semester exam. Imagine that, it was intense. So every time when I was crying, I was painting, I was thinking of her, and I just saw myself painting, making paintings that I did not do so well while the previous years. I actually got better in that period of darkness and pain. And it was there that said, okay, this painting actually helped me through this period. So yeah, I'm going to stick with it. So yes, darkness can actually be a gift if you know how to wield it well anyway.
Yeah,
Because some people
yeah.
might just get lost in it and
In
not,
it.
but
Yeah.
It is, and for me, that was my turning point to stay an artist.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, I think you have a possible. Let me just show this. A possible clients there. Somebody is trying to reconnect with her inner artist. Then
Please,
just
please
go
give
get
us a call.
an art book. I have an art book. Did you know that type we used to buy for a camera and the children? Yeah, I just bought one for myself, a drawing book. And I just draw. Sometimes I just write stamps and decorate it. And I'm happy, you know?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Okay.
It helps with stress. At the end of the
It
day,
does.
you feel
it does.
so.
It does. It
It
does.
does. It does. Okay, so I would like to ask you, Nkechi, can you hear me? I can hear a sound. I don't know why I can hear this sound.
Yeah, I hear a sound too.
Nkechi, I
No sound
suspect
from you. I
you.
can hear you guys
I
well.
suspect it's
I
from
can hear
you.
you. Okay, what sort of sound is that? I have people here, but they're
It's
not
like
talking.
No, not
it's
talking.
like
Just
the
like
TV
it's a
or
parent.
something.
Yeah, is the TV on?
No wind. Is it more like wind?
No, no, no. Like a
Like
No,
TV.
no.
a short. Okay.
Okay. Well,
No.
we'll finish up. We have 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Now, Nkechi, can you tell us
Oh,
a bit more about installation art? Because that is not something that is so popular. And that is something
Okay.
that you are, it's something, we cannot talk about installation art in Nigeria and Africa without talking about your own voice.
Yeah, installation art is well, okay, you can call that contemporary art, but it's like any other art. Well, for me, I think I talk more with that. Installation art is anything that you get to put up, not in the traditional form of painting or
yeah.
sculpture. Yes, it's. I can give an example before I explain it further. When I got in like 20 something years ago into school, I was in Goethe Institute. I just came to the middle of the room and I put a woman I saw with sewing. I used the needle, a pregnant woman giving birth. The baby was already coming out. You could see the head of the baby, and then you had blood
Oh,
come out
sorry.
from there all the way to the floor towards the door, and she was covered halfway, just her face. So that's an installation art. The installation art is more of the shock factor for most people. When you have art that is not traditional in the formal
Very
way of
shocking.
presenting, when you use maybe found objects
Yeah.
and you put them together, if
Yeah.
I have to explain it in the layman's form, yeah, that's installation art. When something is put together, installed, you can have painting, you can have voice, you can have photographs, you can have sculpture put together to tell a story that is very
Videos.
yeah, straight into your face. I think that's the easiest way to explain installation art. So I've done that
But
a
I think
lot. I do better with
performance
that.
is coming into it as well, isn't it?
Performance is a form totally on its own. Performance art
On
is when the artist
On its
uses
own, yeah.
her body or invites people to tell the story using
mm,
media that is different from the normal one, where you can invite poetry, that's spoken word, you can
Mm-hmm.
engage the
Yeah.
audience, happening of interactive art. Performance art, yes, has to do more with the interactive art when you put in music, art, dance, theater with the regular classical one. So that's performance.
okay. I think I'm
The
also
artist
thinking
can
about something
avoid.
that okay, we don't really have too much time. We posted how you can get. Well, what happened to the banner? The banner disappeared. Let me show the banner. That's how you can get Nkechi. My goodness, I don't know what happened to the banner. Everything's disappeared.
What banner is this? I can
Okay,
see. Oh,
Okay,
okay,
I
that.
can see it.
there it is. Okay, I don't know. All our comments have disappeared. I hope everybody hasn't. Oh, they haven't left us. They're here. So I'd like to advise both of you, to have a kind of cross confidence from your perspective. What would you say to an older artist? Nkechi, from your perspective, what would you say to a younger artist?
For me, I'd say, well, okay. To an older artist, I would say, give give us the chance to learn from you and to be mentored by you. Um, we may not be there yet. We may not have fully understood who we want to be, but maybe under your tutelage, you might have a roadmap that has helped you get to where you are now, and we would like that you share that with us at every point and with every opportunity that you get.
Okay.
Okay, then I
Okay.
will tell you, um, there's nothing like being true to yourself. Always speak your truth, and don't have too many voices in your head. Like you said, pick a mentor. You don't need a lot of them. Then read
Yeah.
any book you see on art. Just take in everything. Go out, hang out a lot, take pictures, form your own world. You already have that, but there's nothing like truly finding your identity. It takes time. It takes time. And next year you might not be painting like this. So you just keep developing, and the only way you can do that is by working all the time consistently. So don't bother yourself about how do I break in, how do I. It will happen. If your truth is seen through your work, it will happen. Work. Show yourself. If there are group shows you're invited to, go in. Don't. I know so many people tend to refuse. Oh, I want to have a solo. I want to be this. You can start with group shows. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I stood out in so many group shows that was saving grace. Even when we were in second year, we were already showing. We had a professor that brought us to Lagos to exhibit us in a very incredible group show. Yeah. And that was because in school I was showing. Funny spaces, I'll put up my work. We kept doing that. So just be true to yourself and have goals. Oh my goodness, that also helped me. Write down something. In 5 years, I'm going to have 5 shows. In 5 years, I'm going to have 3 shows. In 5 years, I'm going to, and it will manifest. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes. I do.
So there's mentors are important, but if you can't find one, keep working.
Yeah. And be bold. I'd say be bold. Be very bold. Do not be afraid, no matter
That's
what.
the boldness, the truth. Yes, being true to yourself.
Yeah.
That's the boldness you need. It worked for me. It will work for you. Don't worry.
It was. It was. And you see, she talked about the voices in your ears. There are voices in our society, especially female artists, wife, mother. You already have so many voices. You already have many voices. Yeah. But if you don't listen to that voice that's here, you're going to be very sad at some point in time.
Yeah.
They might mean well, but they will confuse you. They might mean well. I know when I had someone coming, I was mentioning someone. She kept changing her style. I didn't know what to do. So many people talking to her. And when she started with me, I have to throw away all those things. You cannot do that. You're going to do you now. Anybody she hangs out with, she picks that. Anybody, oh, but this person says this is better. Oh, but this person no, just paint.
That's you.
They mean well. Most people do. You have to be able to go through all those things and pick what is criticism and what is advice without making a blend.
I tell you, it's easier said than done to do you.
Yeah.
Well, with time,
With
I
time.
think she can.
Yeah, I'm not talking to her alone. I'm just
And get your
Okay.
people down.
Because I'm really
Just
already doing me.
yeah, yeah.
she is.
People won't
That's an
understand
incredible
initially, but people will.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Well,
that's
confidence.
you are
Vemsi actually wanted to see the round one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if I could disturb you a little bit to show her, could you just bring it? We do
Okay.
this, what's it called?
Closer.
QVC kind of, yeah. Yes.
Let me get it. Sorry.
Wednesday, there you go. That's for you.
what is
And if
that?
you want it, talk to me.
I didn't hear you.
What medium?
Okay.
It's a little shiny.
Yes, acrylic pour.
Was it coated? Do you have something over it? Was it coated over?
No, I mixed it with some additives. So there's food pro, top bond, distilled alcohol. So all of that and poured it, and it came out like this.
It's beautiful.
Thank
Beautiful,
you.
absolutely. I don't know if it's going to leave that space. I'm thinking about it.
And what you should do also is send it directly to the person, present it so because there's a reflection on it now, so she can. So after this, send it to the person.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
There was a reflection from this lens where you were showing us. So you need to take another shot and send directly to the person. Yeah, she could not see properly. It had this like.
Okay.
Nkechi and Confidence, thank you very much. You've reached
Thank
the
you.
time of the day when the little midgets around our gadgets have started echoing.
Oh yeah, for sure. We started late, so he gave so many things. Yeah.
Yes.
It was beautiful.
So
It was nice.
it was. I've enjoyed this very much. Two strong women.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story with us, and thank you for encouraging other people. They can make a business, thriving business out of art and live in full color. Thank you very much. I do love you ladies very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And to everybody who came and said, thank you very much. I love you too. Thank you. Thank you for making it possible. Thank you. See you, ladies. I'm coming for your
Bye.
paintings. Bye bye. I'm coming for your paintings.